Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general monthly read for the sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon, our Ascendant for the month of March. I hope you're well. We're using the Crow Tarot for you today. The 6-month overview for each of the signs that I did at the beginning of the year is still available. You can get it on the link down there in the description. Covers obviously January to June. I think they're quite reasonably priced for what they are, so smoke myself out. Let's have a look and see what's going on with you. I have 3 cards for Taurus, please. There's the first one and the second. We have the 5 of Swords. In the recent past, we have Page of Pentacles in the current energy. And what's coming towards Taurus, please? Ooh. Got the 6 of Cups in reverse. That's interesting. We've got the 9 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. There's that boundaries card that we've been working so hard with over the last year. I'm pleased to see that. Let's give these a little shuffle and then we'll get some clarifiers and see what's going on. No major arcana for you this month, and I think actually that's okay because there's been a lot going on with you. There's been a lot of work going on, and sometimes you need to take a bit of a consolidation, moment. And that feels like it's what's going on here. Could I have 2 cards for this? 5 of Swords, please. Ooh. We have the Devil and the Ace of Swords. Tremendous. Page of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. Love it. And what about the 6 of Cups in reverse? I've got the 10 of Wands in reverse. 6 of Cups in reverse. 6 of Cups in reverse. That one wanted to come out. Ooh, we have Death and we have the Page of Wands. Awesome. There you are at the bottom of the deck as the Hierophant. But I feel like the Hierophant, yeah, we've got the 9 of Wands behind that. I feel like the Hierophant energy is the thing that is shifting for you, Taurus. I feel this quite strongly. So, give me my hips. Oh, goodness me. Right. It's the bus. So, in your recent past, we have got this 5 of Swords. Now, there are many different ways of interpreting this card. This can be, losing touch with people, falling out with people. It can be verbal sparring, it can be all that sort of thing. But, because it's you, Taurus, and because I'm aware of the kind of work that you've been doing on yourselves of late, this is talking to me about internal communication, right? It's the way that you talk to yourself. It's the conversations that you have with yourself. Because we've known for quite a long time that some of the ways in which you speak to yourself aren't particularly useful. No, more than that, they're damaging. It's a form of self-sabotage for sure. What I'm really delighted to see is the fact that we've got the Devil and the Ace of Swords here with it. Now, Devil is the card of Capricorn, but it represents fundamentally fear, right? And so for you, that would be fear of change, fear of standing out from the herd, fear of possibly starting new things, possibly a fear of losing touch with old things, all sorts of things going on here. And I think the extent to which your thought patterns are ruled by fear is something that you've been mulling over quite a lot in recently. And so I'm really, really pleased to see it here with the Ace of Swords, because the Ace of Swords tells me that this rumination, this contemplation that you've been in is actually coming to a place of insight for you. And that's really important because the nagging voice is the one that has been loudest in your mind for quite a long time now. We've been in the process of quietening that down, getting rid of the static, getting rid of the white noise statements that don't really mean anything, like I can't do that or I'll never be good enough. What does that actually mean? It doesn't mean anything. When you drill down into it, that statement means nothing. So it seems you've come to some sort of understanding, and it is based around that which you fear. This is big stuff, Taurus. Tell me about the devil, please. Right, disappearing down the side of the table. We have got... What do we have? We have the Ten of Pentacles, but we have it in the reverse. Now, this is quite interesting because... Actually, I've done a couple of readings with Tauruses, that's the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, over the last couple of days. And one of the themes that's been coming through quite strongly is the notion of commitment. Now, because you're a Taurus, no one can ever question your commitment, right? It is unparalleled, and in whichever way that rings true for you, whether it's to do with your work, whether it's to do with your your intimate relationships, your personal relationships, your friends, your family, your colleagues, whatever, commitment is like the byword for Taurus. We see it here. Yeah. But this card has come out in the reverse, and it's come out underneath the devil. And I wonder did we speak about identity last time, Taurus? I kind of feel like maybe we did, but I can't really remember what was in that reading. There's something quite subtle going on here, which is, who am I if I am not committed to a thing? Now, what I feel this Ace of Swords is for you is discernment. Getting to a place where you can practice discernment. Because it is not necessary for you to commit to everything. It is not necessary for you to commit to everyone. The only thing that it's really necessary for you to commit to is yourself. And frankly, everything else is up for debate. And that's contingent on a lot of things. That's, whether it is reciprocated, it is whether it is worthy and deserving of your commitment, and these sorts of things. But I feel like you're working with this at the moment, because the fear is pulling away from people, pulling away from jobs, circumstances, groups of friends, even family, if necessary. Is kind of twanging something that feels like it could have been something approaching a feeling of guilt. And it's because your identity is so wrapped up in this notion that once you're inducted into the Taurus fold, you are never released, right? You are held on to nice and tight because security, safety, stability. All that stuff. Yeah, we've got the Eight of Pentacles. I mean, that's further. What is it? I just completely lost my train of thought halfway through the thought. That's interesting. It's talking more about a sense of investing, a sense of committing to, a sense of working at something. Would all of this traffic please fuck off? It doesn't matter what time of day I come in here, it'll be silent until I start the video recording, and then all of a sudden it's just noise. Tell me about this Ace of Swords. What's Taurus realised here? I really do feel it's discernment. That's what it feels like. Oh, we have the World. We have you coming to a set of conclusions that are liberating you, that are allowing you to move on, right? The universe is the completion, right? From the universe, which is the world in a standard deck. We go from there to the Fool. We start again. We start anew on a new path in a new direction. But it seems to me like you're tying up some loose ends in your head. And that's important. Because there is still a bit of healing to do. We know that. We've got the Temperance card there. And we've got the Three of Wands. There is a real desire to start turning towards the future. And I think that you innately understand that in order to do that, you have to leave some things behind. I've got the Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck here. So in your current energy, I am delighted to report we have a Page of Pentacles. We have you starting exactly where you should start on a new path with the Page. Right? It's the beginning levels of something, and I've often spoken about how the Page of Pentacles is a card that talks about understanding your own value, right? Really seeing it for the first time. But I can't help but bring it back to this sense of discernment, because we've got here the Ten of Pentacles in reverse and the Eight of Pentacles that were coming up under the devil, you know, the fear. Maybe fear of your own judgment, fear of your own ability to discern what it is that you should be committed to, as opposed to, you know, just a general commitment to everything. But here in this card, this page, this crow here, he's picked one, and it's the important one. That's the one that he's moving forwards with. Right? And the Pentacles suit is given to indicate everything that is in the material, right? So that's often money. We see it to be money sometimes. Other times we can see it, you know, anything to do with your material circumstances, you know. But I've come increasingly to see it as energetic currency, anything that is capable of investing in something. So yes, absolutely money, but also your time, also your care, also your effort, your energy, full stop, right? That is what we're talking about here. We've got a low level first step, a start in a particular direction. And it is Pentacles, which is good because you're an earth sign, you're Taurus, you know, and we don't want you moving too fast. And actually there isn't anything that suggests to me that you are moving too fast here. Everything is going at a measured rate, at a rate that you are comfortable with. And if you tried to move any faster than that, you'd come a cropper, right? Because it's just not how you roll. But change is definitely in the air, because I see you changing. And this is what's going on right now. I see you changing not only your understanding of what is appropriate for you to commit to, but actually what commitment looks like. And I am delighted about this, because we've talked about this a lot, how as a collective, Taurus is quite often inclined towards overinvestment in friends, in any kind of relationship, but particularly, you know, romantic relationships. There's always this push of just trying harder and harder and harder. You know, it sometimes comes across as an overzealousness that can sometimes make people go a little bit like, whoa, chill, everything's cool, you know. But with this Hanged Man being there, as it is, it's a change of perspective. And it's voluntarily undertaken by you. It's a change of perspective in what it is to invest in something, what true commitment looks like to you, what should be invested in, what shouldn't be invested in. Maybe that the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, we've got the Hierophant here, Taurian energy for sure. It talks about structures, it talks about hierarchies, but it talks about teaching and guidance too. Well, that's Ten of Pentacles, please. Huh. And it seems to me you're looking for the balance now, you know? I've got the Chariot at the bottom of the deck here, and, you know, sometimes, Taurus, you can be a little bit serious, you know? And actually the seriousness has often come from a fear of being seen as frivolous or flippant, or, you know, or not quite knowing where you stand with people. Like, if you can let your silly side out, or will they judge you for it, you know? And often you come to the conclusion that they would judge you for it, so you keep it well honed in, you know? But I see that starting to shift a little bit, because we've got the Knight of Wands here. Now, I'm not sure, but I think that might have come out for you in the last reading. It is bringing in that element of possibly fun a little bit. But notice how we've got the card of absolutely no commitment with the card of absolute commitment. In fact, both of these are, you know, absolute commitment. You're never going to stop being an earth sign. It's just not going to happen. And frankly, why would you want to stop being an earth sign? Because it's who you are. Right? Own it. Take some joy from it. But that's not to say that you can't start bringing in other elements to help you. And I'm sure that we had some sense of this in the last reading. Did we not have the Page and the Knight come up there in that last reading? So there's a sense of adventure starting to spring up around you, you know. Now, in order to bring in a little bit of adventure, a little bit of maybe recklessness, but not recklessness exactly, because you're never going to go down that road particularly, but freedom, liberation, exhilaration, a little bit of spontaneity. You're going to have to compromise a little bit of the Taurian fixed nature for something else. And it seems like you're really doing it. Now, for some of you, I feel like you might be thinking about traveling. That's quite strong here. And we've all been cooped up for quite a long time, and I imagine even the Taurus is getting a bit sick of it now. But it's something a little bit more than that, you know. It's wanting to smell the air somewhere else. It's wanting to experience different things. Now, for some of you, that might be traveling. For some of you, you might even actually be considering moving home, which is a big deal for a Taurus. But even in an energetic sense, it's about a desire to start shifting the balance of things, start bringing in a bit of fun, a bit of spontaneity, and balance it out against that more serious, more responsible side that you have, you know. What about the Hangman? Yeah. So, pulled up the Hangman, and I've got the Ace of Wands, and I've got the Sun. This is just confirming for me what it is. Right? We have this sense of adventure. We've got this renewed spark that you're looking for. Taurus, you're starting to look for the passion now. There have been times where passion's been a little bit terrifying for you. Fuck, we've got the fucking Page down here as well. Getting this wand accumulation coming in, right? For some of you, passion has been a little bit terrifying. You know, you would rather have comfort, no drama, no, you know, overt passion, anything like that. You know, it's. We've wanted to maintain a level of comfort in our relationships, but something's shifting, and it's shifting quite hard. Because I'm really feeling the sense that you're wanting to start pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Now, of all the signs, your comfort zone is possibly the most critical to you, right? And critical in how you see yourself and all sorts of things, right? Everything's structured very nicely. But we've been talking about how this is all starting to not crumble exactly, but you're starting to look at these things and you're like, do I really want this in my life? No, I'm not sure, right? It's kind of pushing things to one side and going, actually, I quite like the idea of that thing over there. And whilst you might not know where this is coming from, right? Fucking Hangman is underneath there as well. It just feels right. And this I want you to take away as a very important thing, because you're kind of following, you know, your gut, where it's taking you. And where it's taking you is showing you things that you feel to be correct, right? Your intuition is starting to sing to you a little bit. And this sitting with your intuition and allowing it to speak to you about change, about the possibility of doing new things, about bringing passion into your life, stuff like that. Where this may have scared you at points in the past, or, you know, where you thought you might have liked it, but if you had to compromise any of your security, any of your stability, then you weren't about it at all. The fact that you can sit with this now and listen to your intuition and have it be kind of pushing you in one direction or another, going, have you considered this? You know, maybe have you done long enough now at that place of employment that you've been? You know, is it possible that you might like to go somewhere else? Have you progressed as far as you can go, and you've been kind of sat in as a big fish in a little pond for a while? Are you now looking to start expanding outside of your comfort zone? Because what it feels to me like is that actually this little pond that you've been sat in for a very long time, right? And you know every single, square inch of this thing. It's like you've suddenly realised you've outgrown it. That's how it feels. And now we need something new. We need something bigger. We need something with a bit of creativity in it. We need something with a little bit of passion in it. We need something with a little bit of joy in it, rather than structure. Do you remember how I said right at the beginning that I felt that this was kind of something that you were starting to kick back against now? Well, this is what I mean. That structure that you have imposed for yourself and that you have set very comfortably within for a long time, kind of pushing at the edges now. And it's time to start contemplating the new, for sure, but different ways of living. Like I said, I definitely get a sense of movement for some of you coming through really strong, whether it's like, fuck, I'm going to go on holiday, or I'm going to go travel around my country a little bit, I'm going to go see things, whether you're actually thinking about moving house, like literally transplanting yourself from one place to another. But it feels like it's kind of rippling out into all aspects of your life now. Like, kind of looking at all of it and going, oh, that's been a bit stagnant for a while and I hadn't even noticed, right? What could I do to reinvigorate that? Because reinvigorate is the word here. There's a sense of wanting to reinvigorate everything in the pursuit of joy. I love that for you, Taurus, I really do. So we come to what's coming towards you, and interestingly enough, it's the Six of Cups in reverse. Now, this is a card of the past when it's this way around, right? It talks specifically about the past, sometimes about your childhood, sometimes about your more recent past, sometimes about past lives, actually. But it's come up in the reverse for you. This is an absolute refusal to go back to the way that things used to be. Now, that in and of itself makes me wonder why this card, right? Let's have a look at the cards that come out to clarify it. We might get a little bit more of a clue, because what we've got underneath here is the Ten of Wands, but in the reverse. Another reversed card, right? Here it talks about burden. It talks about things being too hard. It talks about taking on too much responsibility. And Taurus, you have been uniquely guilty of that for your entire life. We've talked about this. You understand the thing, right? Often taking on other people's responsibilities as if they were your own, right? This I really like, because it's more discernment. It's starting to put burdens down, whether they be situations, work pressures, relationships, whatever they are, intimate or otherwise, kind of being like, I put so much effort into this, and what do I get back? Not very much. Now, relationships aren't all about, well, I'll do this for you and you do this for me, but there is a base level reciprocity that one is looking for in relationships that bring value to your life in some way or another, right? Now, unless all of your friends are Tauruses, it's unlikely that you speak the same language of affection, right? But, we're all adults here, and we understand that being friends with, say, a Taurus is very different to being friends with, say, a Sagittarius, right? You bring different things to the table. You can both bring value to the table, but if a Taurus is over-investing and a Sag is, being blunt and a Sag, then that's not going to work together terribly well. There are levels on which we can work, and it doesn't even matter about the signs. I just kind of pull those out as examples. But say you have a friend who, you don't have any children. Your friend has, I don't know, like 5 children or something, like I do, right? And your friend is not able to come and spend every Saturday shopping with you in a way that you would like them to, right? We're not going to judge them for that, because obviously they've got priorities, they've got other things, and even just talking on the phone and stuff like that will be difficult, right? Maybe you have to plan your social engagements like months in advance, because your friend has to get a babysitter and stuff like that. They're trying, they're doing the best they can. I feel like that situation would probably rub along on a level of reciprocity quite well, right? So don't judge too harshly those who don't exactly match you, but look for the underlying intent. Look for the effort, you know, contextually based, right? Take into account their circumstances, but look for the effort, because I think that you're putting things down right, left and centre. Now, the other cards that we have here are Death and the Page of Wands, and I really, really like this, actually, because this is profound. I feel like I say that for you every single fucking reading, but it really is that. We've got the card of Scorpio here, and we've got this Page of Wands, and this for me is a precursor to movement. This is about to go off in a particular direction, right? And this is change. This is transformation. It can sometimes be endings, but I very rarely see it that way, because I think inherent within that ending is another beginning, right? So we've got you practicing discernment. We've got you putting down burdens as and when necessary, as and when you identify them, actually, I think is probably the correct term for that. And we see you going through a process of transformation and getting ready for the next stage of something. Now, it could well be that this Six of Cups is a recognition that most of what has occurred in the past is not useful for you to bring forward for yourself, right? That's one way of looking at it, for sure. And I think that now you've done enough work to know that that is absolutely the case. But why is it coming towards you for March? It sort of suggests to me that there's a situation coming in for you where, well, at the very least, there's the opportunity to default back to old patterns. Tell me about the Six of Cups in reverse. Why is that here for Taurus? So, we've got the Eight of Wands and then the Seven of Wands. Eight of Wands is news. About Six of Cups in reverse. Thank you. Yeah, 4. Now, is this the person coming back in? It's possible. It really is. And to be honest, I'm not being given any specifics here about a person. So it could well be a situation. We could be well talking about work or something like that. But there is something happening in March where your reaction is entirely different to what would be your default generally, right? We've got the Knight of Pentacles here. That is about knowing the value of something and putting it front and center. You know, we've talked before about how it's you know, there's no point in putting up boundaries if you are not going to, you know, enforce them for a start. But also the act of putting up boundaries isn't a static thing. Sometimes you need to move them around, and you need to move them around with different people. Sometimes you need to move them around until you find exactly the right place, because you won't get it right straight off, you know? And that's what that feels like it's doing to me there, right? So you've got your new sense of Taurusness that you're holding up there. And it feels like there is a situation coming in where we've got 9 of Swords and 5 of Pentacles. Right? We have somebody kind of running up against the boundaries. We have someone causing a level of mild anxiety in you. And we have someone with whom there is not a level of reciprocity. Like I said, this could be your job. This could be your boss. It could be intimate relationships, friendships, family relationships. Take it as it resonates to you. But it seems that this is maybe one of the first big run-ins that you have with someone where you really flex those muscles. Because just as the Six of Cups tells me that you are not wanting to go back, right? You have no intention of going back to how things were before. The Ten of Wands is like now being presented with a situation that is, you know, burdensome, choosing, discerning to go, this is not worth my energy or effort, and putting it down and walking away from it, right? Because we've got communication here with the Eight of Wands, and it is two-way communication, which you don't always see with the Eight of Wands. Sometimes they're just going in one direction, but these are coming in to meet each other. And you will be required to defend yourself in some way or another. we've got the chap standing here in the Seven of Wands here. He's planted himself in his emotions, and I think that that's really important. I think that is where you are coming from here, right? Protecting your own emotions, putting the boundaries up, looking after yourself. And then we've got this Four of Pentacles, followed by the Queen. Now I'm gladdened at the sight of the Queen, because that means that you are putting yourself first. That means that you are paying attention to what is right for you. You're seeing that there. But this Four of Pentacles, what's this? Four of Pentacles about you. Six of Pentacles. That's really funny. And see you absolutely clinging to your own stability, come what may. Usually I see the Four of Pentacles as a need to release something, but actually here it's just a firm hold on what is important to you, right? In the Four of Pentacles, it is these pentacles here, and he, you know, he's often called the miser card because this is all about his money. But we're looking at it in a broader context than this. And actually what is important to you is your energetic currency. Your time, your care, your effort, you know, all of those things that you have to invest. And we have the Six of Pentacles. You are not letting anybody fuck with your peace this month, and somebody's going to try. That's the important thing about this. But the funny thing is that all of these things that you've been mulling over are getting a beautiful opportunity to resolve themselves in what's coming in March. All of the worries that you have about being able to trust your own judgment about what you invest in, you know, whether you can truly work out using your own discernment what is a good level of investment and what is not. You know, it's almost like this situation comes pre-packaged as a perfect kind of karmic lesson, as you will. To go, here is an example of somebody behaving in a shitty manner. Do you A, you know, I just got fucking multiple choice, and you know, well, clearly the option is D. I put up my you know, boundaries. I'm going to choose not to invest in this. I'm not going to take any responsibility for whatever is going on here with this person, because it's not mine, and I'm going to go away and look after myself a little bit. I'm going to continue on this road of planning and movement, because I am feeling lots of movement for you, Taurus. And even if you're not moving right now, the plans for the movement are coming at like page, like you're not moving yet. It's not happening yet, but we're at the planning stage, right? You're definitely thinking about next moves in one way or another. You've no intention of staying where you are and staying static. And I think that this situation is showing you that that which you've been concerned about for the last wee while, you've actually got it in hand, you know, but it's almost like you need a material demonstration of it. How fascinating. Right, Taurus, if this has resonated with you, I'm going to go over to Vimeo now, and I'm going to go and have a look, pull this apart a little bit more and see what this is all about. I mean, I hate the word test, you know, I hate the word test, but it's got a kind of like testing feel to it a little bit. But it's showing you exactly the thing that you've been worrying about, showing you how you sail through it with, you know, with a gold star. I like it very much. Right. I hope that this has been helpful to you. As ever, that's always the intention that I set. And yeah, I'm going to go to Vimeo now. If you want to join me, that's cool. If not, also cool, not a problem. Know that I love you all very, very much, and I'll see you soon.